What's up, guys? Shuckle King here for my Week 1 matchup for MLBA versus Spanic, coach of Reno Acerola. Now, my apologies for not getting this battle up Tuesday like it was supposed to. With the Christmas holiday, it's been crazy around here the last couple days, and I'm also sick right now. I don't know if you could tell that based on my voice, but I kind of wasn't terribly in the mood to put a recording out, but I gotta do it, so I'll power through it, I guess. So my Week 2 matchup, I already will have my recording on Tuesday, the January 2nd, and then for Week 3, we're going to be battling on the 16th and have that recording there. I don't remember the reason why. I guess just because the general of the holiday, there's an extra week time frame in there. So after the 2nd, there'll be a little bit of a delay between Week 3, but I'll have all the rest of the battles on Tuesdays otherwise. So my apologies for not getting this battle up earlier. So in the corner, you can see what Spanic brought on his team. I have them in order most threatening to least threatening, in my opinion. Again, these could change a little bit, but for the most part, that's how I feel like they match up against my team. So we have Greninja, Protean with Z moves, Mega Metagross, Mimikyu, Rotom Frost with Z moves, Sceptile, Claydol with Z moves, Salazzle with Z moves, Dragonite with Z moves, Girder, and Miltank. Now, Greninja is just so annoying because of Protean. It basically has a stab for all his moves. So that's a very nice bonus it has right there. And it can change his typing, so it's kind of a little bit unpredictable about going for maybe a super effective hit versus a resisted hit. And even though Greninja's weak defenses, it can live a resisted or neutral hit most of the time. So I gotta watch out for that. Greninja also outspeeds Naganadel, and I very expect it to be Choice Scarfed, because that's the only thing on his team that can revenge kill Naganadel pretty easily. He does have Mega Metagross, which can handle it pretty well defensively, unless I'm running like Dark Pulse or Fire Blast for it. And Mimikyu can obviously take a hit, but that's pretty much it. Everything else basically dies to Naganadel. So I'm expecting some type of maybe special defensive Mega Metagross or a Scarf Greninja with Ice Beam to handle it. Yeah, Mega Metagross again, very powerful threat. I feel like I have a little bit more answers for this, and Lando I can revenge kill it very easily. Skarmy is a pretty good answer to it, so I'm not as worried about Mega Metagross as most teams, but it's still very, very threatening. Mimikyu can take a hit and kill a Naganadel with Play Rough or Shadow Claw plus Shadow Sneak. Once I break its disguise, it'll hit me and then hit me back with a Shadow Sneak. So it can beat Naganadel 1v1, so that's why I gotta worry about that. Everything else in this team I can beat with Naganadel, which is very, very cool. Rotom Frost is maybe a bigger threat than normal just because I do have Ninetales, and if I bring Hail with that, I'm just gonna have 100% accurate Blizzards. And my Ice Resist on my team are Mew, Mega Gallade, and Kingler. So I gotta watch out for that. And I guess alone Ninetales could take Ice, that's pretty decently as well. So that's his team. Now, I'm going to talk about the 3 Pokemon I feel like have a pretty good matchup against his team. So I'm going to try to build around those 3 Pokemon. So the first ones you see here is Alolan Ninetales, just because I could set up the Veil, which is very important, Aurora Veil in this matchup. The only problem, though, is Rotom Frost can defog. So I got to watch out for that. I can take away my Aurora Veil in that regard. But even though he's a pretty good offensive threat with Ice and Fairy hitting his whole team except for Metagross, but all pretty good answers for that in the form of Skarmory, which is the next biggest threat in my opinion to his team. Just because it counters Mega Gross, unless if it gets like a bunch of Meteor Mash boost and such. It also handles like the Mimikyu very, very well. Handles a Sceptile pretty well, basically any sets. Claydol, Dragonite does okay with Girder if I have a flying move for it. The Skarmory is going to be very nice in this matchup. And third is obviously Naganadel. He has a Metagross, which can handle it pretty well unless I run like Firium Z. Also have Mimikyu to revenge kill Naganadel in a way there. But otherwise, it's a huge problem against this team. Nothing can take a +2 hit, unless it's like max special defensive or something on the lines of that. So that's the team. Here we go for the exact sets that I'm bringing. So first we have Alolan Ninetales with some defensive bulk, a little bit of special attack, and some speed. The speed allows me to outspeed Adamant Mimikyu, and it also allows me to outspeed a Rotom Frost if it's max speed. If it's not Scarfed, I can obviously, but it is what it is there. The special attack allows me to 2-hit KO Rotom Frost with Moonblast after it switches in on rocks, which is very nice. I'm pretty confident he'll bring Rotom Frost this matchup. And the defense investment it's kind of niche, but if I have a Aurora Veil up, I'll be able to live a Life Orb, a Gunk Shot after rocks from Greninja, if that's his way to kill Wool and Ninetales there, and then I can hit it very, very hard with a Blizzard in return. It's very situational, but it could come in handy, I suppose. Next Pokemon I have is Skarmory. Skarmory's very standardish set. Max Defense with Rocky Helmet is a great answer to Mega Metagross. It chips that down very nice, especially if Hail is up. I can Roost up if I get a little bit too low. Mimikyu is also a great answer for rocks because I want rocks in the team to chip away at the Rotom Frost for my Ninetales and also to hit the Greninja. Iron Head to hit really just a Mimikyu there. And Defog in his set, so I don't want to bring Defog on any of the other Pokemon that I brought in this matchup. And in case if he has like Spike's Greninja, that would be annoying in this matchup, so I want to make sure I get those away if possible. Next, the big threat, Naganadel. I'll probably be bringing this set pretty much every week, or close to it. Max Speed, Max Special Attack, Max Speed allows me to outspeed a Sceptile, though it's not that big of a deal if I outspeed, I suppose, but it can also have Dragon Pulse, which would do a decent amount, so I don't want to let that happen if I don't have to. I don't outspeed Greninja, which is unfortunate, but is what it is there. If I get a +1 speed boost, that'll be very nice against his team, so that way only Greninja with Scarf can outspeed me. Fire Blast is to nuke the Mega Metagross, and then Draco and Sledge Wave are pretty typical moves for Naganadel. Next Pokemon I have is Thundertherian, Scarfed. The same speed as Ninetales to outspeed a Adamant Mimikyu, and also to outspeed a Rotom Frost. So I don't want to stand in on that, obviously. Volt Switch, Thunderbolt for those two. Hidden Power Ice is there to hit like the Claydol, to hit the Sceptile, hit the Dragonite very hard, and Dark Pulse is also there to hit the Claydol mainly, and the Mega Metagross as well. I can outspeed that and do a lot of chip damage with a modest Scarf Dark Pulse. Next I have Mega Gallade, which I feel like is a very good matchup as well in this game. This is also my pseudo Ice Resist, even though I don't have a lot of bulk on this. The speed allows me to outspeed a Mega Metagross, trying to outspeed a Landorus. It could do that pretty easily, but Mega Metagross might not want to invest full speed, because I'd be speed tying anyway with Mega Gallade, and I could do a lot of damage to it 1v1. So if he's going to plan on just outspeeding the Landorus, then I can get a little bit of a speed jump on that anyway. I don't really miss out on many speed tiers anyway with the speed here. The only thing that I don't outspeed is the max speed Mega Metagross. But Sword Stance is very nice. If I'm under Veils, he really has a hard time dealing with Mega Gallade with my pretty high special defense base stat, even though my HP is pretty low. Drain Punch to get a decent amount of recovery, unlike the Mega Metagross, Rotom Frost, Greninja. I outspeed a lot of his team, so I can get a good amount of HP back there. And I need some form of recovery from my Ice Resist. Shadow Sneak just for priority if I ever need it on like a Mimikyu. And Psycho Cut for general damage on this team. Next Pokemon I have here is my Landorus with a Yachi Berry. This, I guess, is also my pseudo Ice Resist. But Landorus is outspeeds Jolly Mimikyu, which is very nice. And Yachi allows me to live an Ice Beam most of the time from a Greninja, which is very cool. So Earth Power, Hidden Power, Ice there. Hidden Power Ice is to hit the Dragonite, Earth Power just for general damage. U-turn to get a momentum throughout the game, and Rock Slide to 2-hit KO Rotom Frost after rocks. So that'll be nice to get rid of that threat against my team. So this is the team I got here. Let's see how well it does in the match. Okay, so as you see with his team, he did bring the Greninja, Mega Metagross, Mimikyu, Rotom Frost, which were all like the biggest threats to my team. Everything else he could have maybe or maybe not brought. He didn't bring the Sceptile. Sceptile's pretty meh, especially against a Skarmory, so I'm not too surprised that he didn't bring it in. Naganadel also outspeeds it. So pretty much what I expected against his team. No Dragonite is nice, even though it wasn't as big of a threat as I thought it would be to most teams. But looking at this, again, I want to get my Aurora Veil up as big as possible. Want to chip away that Mimikyu, get rid of his disguise, and Megadell should do pretty well in this matchup. So with my lead, I'm going to be leading with my Gallade. Gallade is a pretty safe matchup against pretty much everything. And if you wanted to lead with your Claydol, then I can start setting up Sword Stances on it, or even go to my Skarmory and such and just be passive against it with Stealth Rock and Defog to hopefully win that Hazards battle there. He goes for the U-turn with Greninja and gets a crit turn 1, which is very unfortunate just because this is my Ice Resist. So I want to make sure I'm at highest HP as possible throughout this match. So any bit of damage that's not more than what I expected is very unfortunate. With this information, though, I know that it's a timid, no attack Greninja. And I'm very confident it's Scarf because I do not see any Life Orb damage. I'm going to fire off a Drain Punch, really no drawback unless he wanted the Mimikyu. But I have a very good answer to that in Skarmory. Expecting a fire move, I go into Megadell here, and he pretty much has to sack something off. Again, he could have gone to Mimikyu, but if I predicted that and went for a Sludge Wave, then he had a very hard time dealing with Megadell, unless if he Scarfed Greninja. So I'm going to just pick off a pretty easy kill there. He also could have gone to Mega Metagross there, but if I went for, like, say, a Poison move and I had a Z-Fire and killed a Mega Metagross, that would have been bad for him. So he brings in the Greninja. I'm 100% assuming he's Scarfed, so I'm going to go into my Ice Resist, which is Gallade. And this is about a normal roll based on my HP investment. And I figured he wasn't going to stay in with Greninja at this point because if he did, he would risk dying to a Drain Punch from Gallade. So he did not want to risk that. I was pretty confident. So I am safe at this point to go for a Drain Punch and get a little bit of HP recovery back. And from here, Claydol can't do much to me because based on that damage, he's a max HP, max defense Claydol. So not too much damage. I can pretty safely Sword Stance and should be at this amount of HP or a little bit higher. If I'm at this HP, then Greninja can kill me with any one move. So I'm going to just go for a Sword Stance here. If he's going to go for Rocks, that's fine. I'm going to just click Drain Punch this much, get as much HP back as possible. Try to stay about 50 to 60% to take a hit from Greninja. You get to Special Defense drop, which is very, very bad. It's bad because, yes, I can defeat the Claydol 1v1, but he's going to be doing a lot more damage to me than I really wanted. So that's going to suck, and I might have to sack my Gallade later on in the match and gain HP. He does 34%. If he did like 11% damage, I would be at about 47%, 48% right now, which would be out of range for a Greninja to kill me. At this point, I just went for the Shadow Sneak to ensure to kill. It would have been a very high roll to kill a Drain Punch there. And if I didn't kill, I'd be at about like 25% based off the damage before. So I would basically lose my Gallade there to this Claydol. But he brings in the Greninja, so I figured I want to get as much chip damage on it as possible. So I go for the Shadow Sneak, get a crit. It died. In my opinion, doesn't make a difference, but we'll see later on in the match why I believe that. So he's going to kill me, especially with the -1 defense with Surf, and that's fine. Thunderous can take a Surf here, so I'm going to just go for it. I go for the Volt Switch. The game momentum back and see what his switch is. Goes into a Rotom here, which is fine. It gives me a pretty safe switch into my Ninetales and get up the Veil. And based off this damage, I know it's like a max HP, some sort of variant of Rotom. I don't think it's a special investment spread, though. So he goes for the Volt Switch there, and he also doesn't have much special attack based on that damage, so he's like probably max defense, I would imagine, or a lot of defense. So I go to my Skarmory on his Metagross switch when I had my Ninetales out. Doesn't do a whole lot. It misses, which doesn't make a whole lot of difference. He finds out I'm max defense Rocky Helmet, so I can defeat this Metagross pretty easily. Here I want to go for a Roost just to stay as high SP as possible to take on the Mimikyu later in the match and also get my Sturdy in case I have to live a hit from like a Rotom Frost. So it was a good play bringing in Greninja at that point because I wasn't going for the Iron Head and that wouldn't do too much anyway. Goes for the Surf there. It's a good opportunity for me to get my rocks up. But then he goes into his Metagross here expecting me to switch, knowing that he was Scarf, so I go to Megadell and I can just kill this Metagross with a Fire Blast. That's very nice for me. And my speed boost. I know he's Scarf, Greninja, Ice Beam, but at this point, I felt like Megadell was the least useful member just because Mimikyu took it on very well. I need Aurora Veil to get my... I need Ninetales to get my Aurora Veil up. I need Skarmory to take on the Mimikyu. Thundurus with Scarf would be very nice against the Rotom and the Mimikyu, and Landorus with the Yachi could take a hit from the Greninja under Veils. That's why I felt Negative is the least useful member on this team, so I'm going to sack it off here, and there's no chance I could live that even under Veils. So I go to my Ninetales because I can live an Ice Beam, and I'm going to get off an Aurora Veil here. At this point, I can pretty safely 2-hit KO with Moonblast. He goes for the Defog here, which is fine. It actually is nice in my regard because I don't have my Veils up, but I have a very good chance to live an Ice Beam from the Greninja based on my Landorus's HP stat with the Yachi. So I'm okay with him getting rid of my rocks. I lose my rocks on this side of the field, which is annoying but not the biggest deal in the world. So right here I'm going to go for Veil again, and he goes for Volt Switch. Gets a crit, that doesn't matter too much. But it kind of stinks on his part. I guess he could have just stayed in and defogged, but I do have Encore on this set, so I could have Encored him in the defog, gone into a different Pokemon, and done a decent amount of damage to the team and gotten momentum in that regard. So I don't know if this was the incorrect play to the Volt Switch versus continuously defogging, but having my Aurora Veil up on my side of the field is very nice. He goes in Greninja and gets a free kill with U-turn, that's fine. He goes into his Rotom Frost. I can go into my Thundurus and go for Thunderbolt. He can't really do anything about it. I should be able to take an Ice Beam from Greninja. So he goes into Mimikyu here. I'm going to Thunderbolt it. I should do a decent amount of damage to it. He's going to go for the Swords Dance, which is fine. My Skarmory could take a hit later on. He goes for the Shadow Sneak there. Based on this damage, he's adamant a Spell Tag, but he's not a Life Orb. So that's nice. I should be able to live these 2 hits here. And I do, and kill with a couple Thunderbolts. That's very nice. He has all his left is Greninja. He goes to the Surf because he told me later on he assumed I was a Yachi Landorus, so he thought that was the best chance to win, but I was going to pretty much win either way unless he got a Ice Beam Freeze. So I do come in and kill with my Landorus because I can live a hit under Veils. So good game, Spanic. That was very nice. Greninja is so big of a threat with a Protean. I kind of underestimated it going into the draft, but I would definitely have considered it in the future if I have that opportunity to draft Greninja. Metagross is also a big threat, but I had Skarmory to take it on very well. So good game, and good luck for the rest of your games, and I'll see you guys later.